they will join or look at the presentation afterwards. So the idea was actually to share some hints, some tips according to our experience over 20 years, I'm afraid to say for now, in the international business development and in the establishing global sales. And that's the topic which we will talk today about. First of all, for those people who do not know me, I would like to introduce very briefly myself. My name is Arina Voronkina. I'm an engineer. I'm also a certified MBA expert and MBA tutor. I used to teach international marketing strategy at one of the UK program of MBA before. And also from time to time, I did the seminars according to the international business and also according to the channel sales establishing. So I'm in the international business for over than 20 years. Because I started to work as a hired manager in the different medium-size and large-size companies in different countries. And then in 2011, officially, I have started my own business, which is aimed to help small size and medium size, mainly companies, manufacturers, in expanding their sales abroad. So let's switch to the practical side of this session today. Actually, establishing global sales, it has three main steps. The first one is preparation, second one is action, and then ongoing activity in managing sales abroad. So we'll discuss during today's workshop, does a company really need sales abroad? Is it ready for international expansion? What are the criteria to check before going global? What are the market entry options for different types of business? We will talk a bit more about the channel sales. When use channel sales, why use it, and how to use it effectively. We will touch slightly upon the partners onboarding and especially important thing, what to do after the channel partners has been onboarded in some country, how to make them sell, actually, not just sign an agreement with them. And yeah, we will summarize these 10 practical hints of going global. So let's start. What it actually means going global for the company and what kind of companies can consider going abroad? Actually, there are three types, generally three types of business. Whether the company can be manufacturer, so that's the vendor who is producing some physical or software online product. Let's call it kind of, it could be either box product or more customized product. But again, we are talking about the manufacturer or about the producer of some product. Yeah. Then it could be a distributor or channel sales partner or retailer or reseller or dealer or value-added reseller, but generally like distributors, a company who do not produce the product themselves, but who is cooperating with the manufacturer. Let me switch on the pointer. Who is cooperating with the manufacturer here and selling their products. Typically, the distributors, they are working only on the local market. But however, in my practice, I do know examples, and I even used to work with some companies who have been distributors, but they have had comparably successful expansion abroad. One case was like software distributor of different, Microsoft, Cisco, different softwares, and they do have representatives in more than 10 countries. And the third type of the company is a service provider, when the company do not have a particular product, box product or customized product, but they just provide services. I'm talking about this because for all these three types of companies, there are different strategies of going global or going internationally. Today, we will mostly talk about the company who are here in this area, who are more or less manufacturer of some products, because the distributor is an more exceptions than a typical situation, and service provider, mostly these companies need to use like direct sales approach for going forward. So we will have a series of workshops, but today mostly we will concentrate on the manufacturer side. So what should have in mind the manufacturer before investing resources into their internationalization? First, of course, they need to consider what kind of product do they have already in hands, or sometimes what product they are developing if it is a startup. And they, of course, need to understand if it's a new product. Sometimes it's easier because they can adjust from the very beginning product development to fit global markets. If this is already a mature product, in this case, they need to evaluate if this product, which is already mature on the local market, if this is really suitable to go abroad, what kind of changes need to be done in this product? Mostly there are some changes which need to be done there, because if the product is mature locally, I don't know, saying even in Germany, yeah, okay, it has German language. Does it have English? Does it have French? Does it have some other language? Does it correspond to not only to DIN, for instance, standard, but also to AGMA, to ISO? So these kind of things, that's the first, from the first time the company need to check. Then, okay, I need to estimate the pricing level and competitive positions, the localization needs and costs. And we used to work a lot with the localization for the, especially for the software products. And there are some issues because we are the company which are mostly working with the industrial type of products, or the software, or kind of highly innovative solutions. And normally that has quite a specific terminology. And it's not always so easy to make the translation to this kind of software. There's a basic, for instance, interface, but also let's consider the documentation. So this needs to be calculated from the very beginning, and manufacturer or vendor need to understand, are they really ready for such investment for going abroad? Or they just need to choose, for instance, the market which do not require localization. Okay, again, the very important thing to have in mind, is it a box product, which is like buy and sell and that's it, do not require a lot of surveys, pre-sale, after sale, customization, or this is a product or platform or some service which need to be really adjusted according to the customer requirement. Will be different approaches for internationalization. How difficult is the product? Does it require some additional explanation, support, investigations on the customer side, and the training needs? So let's go further. Another thing which need to be estimated before going global is a company itself, because before any steps, company need to understand the budget, how much it will cost them to go to the international markets, how long time will it take. So these expectations need to be realistic at least. So to go abroad successfully, there should be a team inside the company who is doing this proactively and who is supporting this activity. And the minimum staff which need to be involved, that's export manager, who will be responsible for the daily business of the international relations and sales and managing of the partners and marketing and all other things. At least one, but it should be a dedicated person. Otherwise, we can just sit and wait when somebody will come to our website and maybe will, but it's not international sales. It's just good luck. So another person is the C-level management. For going abroad, the expert manager should have a stable support from the management, because even as we discussed a couple of slides before, internationalization might require some additional investments or some changes in the product or some changes in the marketing. And for this reason, the high management of the company should be supportive and involved and manage the project, because sometimes the decision need to be taken quite fast, and without this support it will be just not possible to go further. So in my experience, international projects always are coordinated or controlled directly by the C-level persons. If we are talking about some technological product or the software, there should be support team, because there should be support team at least speaking English, and maybe if we are targeting some other market, speaking the market of that region. And there should be some participant. And there should be, of course, some R&D resources in case the product will require some adjustments. So tip number one, before going international, be realistic with the product of the company and with the resources of the company. So not try, but it's must to do some internal audit and internal analysis of what do you have in hands in terms of products and resources. Then let's consider starting of thinking international. This is just kind of a funny slide, but sometimes I still now hear these kind of considerations from some people. So here we see not good options to start going internationally. So what I'm trying to say here, not rely on the size of the market, on some relatives or friends which you have in particular area. Not rely on somebody who is telling that this is a great. That's always a combination of different factors, and choosing the right region. It's particular work under the market research. What are the points which we are normally looking at as an international expert? That's always several things. Well, of course, that's the size of the market. But the size of the market for your product, we always consider together with the potential of the market. Because I will give you an example. We are working now in the Middle East. I'm sitting in Dubai, and we are working for several projects in the area of industrial software and industrial machines. Is the size of the Middle East big or huge for industrial machines or software? Not at all. No. Are there any perspectives? What are the trends of the market? Are there any potential of growing the market? Yes, definitely. And those who will come to this market right now will got a bigger part of the pie in future. So yes, we evaluate size of the market, but we also evaluate the market potential. And sometimes it makes more sense to go to the market, which is the third point here, yeah, competition, which is less competitive, for instance, for the moment, but in 2-3 years have the bigger perspectives, because internationalization, that's always a midterm to long-term strategy. Of course, we want our return on investments as soon as possible. But again, let's be realistic. Normally, that's 1 to 3 years minimum. And of course, further on, we have the long-term strategy. So the adoption cycle. How flexible is the audience in the chosen market or in the considered market? Yeah, we are doing now just the market research. We have not yet chosen the market. So what is the adoption market? What is the mentality of the people in the market? Another example from our practice. About maybe a year ago, we used to work with a Switzerland company in the digital financial sector. And we have been helping them to establish the sales channels in Switzerland. So we helped Switzerland company to establish channel sales in Switzerland. And the adoption cycle of their quite innovative digital solution in the financial sector was quite a long, really. And we were kind of joking with our customers that in Switzerland, the mentality of the people and the adoption cycle of the new product is, the country is so wealthy and healthy that the adoption cycle, well, it lasts for some period to change a little bit, the mentality. So that's another, point to consider when you are choosing which regions you will try to expand. Of course, yeah, language and mentality, the localization of the product, and putting the members of the team which speaks, English, French, Spanish, German. That's quite expensive. So you need to somehow optimize, and during the market research, choose the regions which will require the minimum investments, at least in the beginning, from the company side. And certification, licensing, and sanctions. Here, sanctions, okay, we will not go deep there. Everybody knows what is the situation now, but because the geopolitical situation in the world is so turbulent right now, so sanctions is very important thing to look at the research in the midterm perspective, because who could imagine the situation we have now in the world like 3 years ago? So we can predict, or at least try to predict, which markets will be hopefully stable and maybe invest there. With the certification and licensing, I used to have a very interesting example just a few weeks ago. I'm using voice over IP telephony in the Middle East, yeah, and I was using the services of one local company here, and then this company just a few weeks ago sent me the message that your phone number and your service now will be just disconnected, and they really disconnect me in half an hour. What happened actually? And can you imagine how painful it is for the company to lose at once their phone number, which is everywhere in Google page, in marketing materials, in the customers, everywhere, with the sales team calling according to this number. And they just disconnected. The situation was this company didn't follow it and didn't research their licensing story here in the UAE. They did not properly agree or research their requirements from the local mobile operator Etisalat, and then local operator just came to them and told, okay, and now you just switch off each and every company who are registered in the free zone in the UAE. And they did it. And can you imagine how big damage it caused to this company? I told to the general director of them after this situation, and they lost like 50% of their abroad clients here in UAE, 50%, and everybody was really furious on them. So I hardly believe they will recover their reputation in the nearest time. So hint number 2, carefully research the market. It should not be a huge research, just 10, 12 pages, but answer to the key questions of each and every prospective regions you are considering before you invest there too much time and resources. Yeah, so that could look like this. For instance, language here, USA might be the most looking like a most perspective market, but that's also the very competitive market. And from the marketing term, it will require so much investments from your side. So that's a big doubt whether you need to choose, for instance, here USA market just because of English language, or you need to, research deeper. That's very important. Structure, do the priorities regarding the regions, and choose based on some research and analytical information. Hint number 3, do prioritization and then go one by one. It is not possible to go everywhere at once. Each region has their own specifics. To get the fastest return on investment, you need to choose the best one for now, focus a little bit on this market, get return, establish the structure there, and then switch to the next region. Now let's talk a little bit about the market entry options. When you have chosen one or maybe 2 regions where the company would like to expand with their product or service, how to reach the customer audience in this market? Let's imagine you are a manufacturing company or whatever, supplier, and how to reach the international end user in this particular new market for you. Generally speaking, there are just 2 options for sales. That's either direct sales, when you approach customers abroad directly from your own company, and these are either direct sales from your home market or via establishing the subsidiary in the target market and hiring the team there. Or these are indirect sales, which we are working a lot with our customers. Indirect sales means that you onboard different kind of sales channels in the regions. Everybody call it in the different ways. There are huge, different types of such agents, but in general, it's such sales partners. It could be resellers, could be value-added resellers, could be kind of agents, could be original equipment manufacturers, could be system integrators. In general, these are the companies who are taking your mostly product, box product or a little bit customized product, and do sales on behalf of you in their local region and take some commission for this sale. We work a lot in this area, and I think that one of the next workshops will be about working with channel sales, because on my point of view, if the product is sufficient to be sold through the indirect sales approach, you should start with it. Let's consider why. What are the difference from direct sales and indirect sales? First of all, of course, investments. We mostly work with the small and medium-sized companies, so their approach to internationalization differ a lot from the big companies. Big companies have big money. They can just come, establish subsidiary, hire a lot of staff and go. No, in SMB, sorry, that's a different situation. Every euro, every dollar is counted, and SMB are very careful about their strategy to go abroad, and they count money. So investments, when you do direct sales proactively, that's quite high. Can you imagine how much money it will cost, to establish a subsidiary? With the indirect sales, selling through the sales partners, that's comparably cheap because you just need to approach the companies who are already involved in the business in this area, in the chosen region, motivate them to go into partnership with you, and then do your part of the job in terms of training, motivation, supporting, etc., etc. But in terms of money, that's kind of cost of 1-2 business trip and cost of 1 expert manager who is sitting in the headquarters. Well, time to market. Also, with the direct sales, you need to start from scratch. You need to develop the connections, the networking, search customer, etc. If you are going through the indirect sales, that's better access to prospects. You choose the sales partners who already have good relationship with your target audience. They already know them. All you need to do just convince partners to work with your product. Management support required. Well, here in direct sales, establishing a subsidiary or direct, sales, if we are talking about the big sales, that always requires a senior level support. With the indirect sales, just operational level of the management is enough because, you should just establish the strategy, implement it region by region, and then maintain a good communication, good and friendly communication. And do not require such a big attention from the senior level management. Learning curve and expansion opportunities, scaling opportunities. Again, that's very expensive and could require a lot of time in the direct approach. And with the indirect, it's a question of onboarding more partners in different regions. So you scale the business easier internationally. And cost of failure. It's obviously high in the direct investments because let's consider you are opening a subsidiary. You need to close it properly. You need to, do all this bureaucracy job, and you cannot just go out of the this involvement in one day. With the partners, it's limited exposure. You do not lose a lot actually. So hint number 4: when and where it is possible, we would recommend to start and to try with the indirect sales, to start abroad with the local sales partners. Let's talk a little bit about this, about onboarding sales partners. The process of onboarding sales partners is quite straightforward. It's searching, initial contacting, meeting, verifying. Okay, and then there is a 4th step, which is like coordinating and motivating and daily communications. But normally in our company, we do these 3 steps in like a lot of projects. Search, you need to understand the partner profile and preferences. It could already be involved in some competitive product sales, and sometimes they might be not very happy with it, with the products or with the behavior of the vendor, and then you can just, headhunt them from the different products they are selling. Currently, we did it several times for our customers. They could sell supplementary products with the same target audience, and you just need to start searching these kind of companies according to the criteria. Initial contact, of course, we need to contact decision makers. We all know it. We need to have some message and call scenario, but when we are working under the task of onboarding partner, we never use scenario because now each and every person have dozens of kind of cold messages, spam messages, cold calls. And as for me, I even do not pick up the phone. And if I pick up the phone, from the very first hello, we can identify whether this is a cold caller calling or whether this is a person with some, experience calling. Every decision maker will identify the scenario cold calls easily. I have just had a discussion with a potential customer, and they told me that, hey, we are using this kind of telemarketing companies. My advice, extra advice, would be never use it because, again, that could really damage their reputation. It should be the person inside your company who is doing these calls, or some local person or company like ours, for instance, but who can really communicate in the proper way with the decision maker. Yeah, use all contact channels. It's not only calls, it's not only emails, but it's also LinkedIn or Xing or fairs or exhibitions. So in today's environment, we have so many, how to say, information in our everyday life. So that's really hard thing to get to decision maker. And we need to use each and every possible contact channel to open the door. So that is why, like, kind of door opener, how I call it here, could be very useful. So that might be some local company or person. I'm telling company because that's actually the core of our business. We are acting as a door opener in the different markets with a local mentality, with a local language, and with some proper background who can do this quite hard job on behalf of your company. And then the final part of onboarding sales partners is definitely scheduling the meeting and preparing the presentation and preparing your questions to verify if this partner would be really a good partner for you, and preparing some kind of motivation from your side for the partner, and agreeing about the next steps. So there are several hints here. Hint number 5, when we are searching partners, when we are searching potential partners, we as a company, we normally create the long list manually. So the hint is long list should be long. Quite often I hear from our customers that we have these criteria, and then they send me, like, I don't know, the whole list of criteria very strictly for the potential partners in the new regions. And then I explain that please try to release a little bit the criteria and try to widen it, because we never know. Remember, we are approaching the decision maker. We are approaching very often the owner of the company, because it's small, medium-sized business again. And you never know what is in the head of the owner of the company. Sometimes they are maybe searching for the new idea, and they have resources and they have time, and they would be so motivated by your product that they will invest their time and money for it. So when you are doing the long list, do not decline some non-priority companies from the first site. Give them a try. Give them a call, or allow to give them a call and check. If no, then no. It's just the cost of an extra call. So long list should be long. Yeah, use the local door openers. I have a case like 10 years ago, maybe, when we tried with one company enter the German market, the DACH market, and I used to have the German-speaking team within my company, and we started to search and approach value-added resellers in Germany, in Austria, in Switzerland, and the feedback was honestly quite poor. And then we decided to use the services of the local person, and the situation changes dramatically. So sometimes in the very beginning, people would really prefer to talk to the person who is somehow next to them and speaking the same language. Using their local people for the first contact and maybe for the further support is a good idea. So hint number 7, when you have met the potential partner and you did your presentation, work out the next steps right away and act according to this plan. So what's next? You have onboarded some partners in the new region, and you have maybe even signed an agreement, or you just shake hands, and then you expect that it will be working like this. They will go and start active sales and start active lead generation, and you will get very soon the first orders, or at least requests, etc. That's our expectation, okay? And very often they are not corresponding to the reality. We are talking about the partner sales right now. And sometimes after you sign an agreement, partners just do not sell. So that's the most interesting part of the project actually starts. You need to establish the good relationship with your resellers, with your new partnership network. You need to train them. You need to show them how is it like to sell your product. You need to give them all the necessary initial knowledges. Don't give too much because they might be really frustrated with it, and give them all the tips you have to push them sell. And you need to do this fast before they forget about you and got some other idea or product or manufacturer in their email. You need to work out some rules. Not very difficult, not very bureaucratic. Resellers are small companies. They have a limited resources, but they need to, I don't know, at least quarterly report you with their leads, and maybe they need to be certified to your product. They need maybe to send some sales managers to your enterprise to get their, training. And these disciplines, these rules should be clear from the very beginning. Sometimes what we are doing, we are working out the strategy of working with reseller. We are working the good channel program with all the described bullet points from the very beginning. And that's really a good idea to have the rules from the very beginning, to announce them clearly and transparent to the partners, and then, do this checklist. And of course, relationship with your resellers should be win-win situation, and it should be friendly, and you need to meet with them on the regular basis. That's your part of the investment to help resellers to do a good start. So few ideas why resellers, after being onboarded, do not sell. There are two types of products in the reseller's portfolio. And in terms of, as a manufacturer, your product can be either strategic product or portfolio product. What is the difference? And we are talking about the strategic product in the reseller's portfolio. That's when it is part of the partner's survival kit. If they won't sell your product, they won't survive. They will not have money to survive. So they really invest a lot of their own marketing in the product locally. They invest in the dedicated manager or in the dedicated staff, and they really train their staff. And they are starting doing sales every year. Or sometimes resellers, if that's a multi-product channel partner, they just take a product and put it on their shelf, and then do really nothing with it. Let's imagine the online store, for instance, for different products, for instance, software online store. They have plenty of marketing opportunities to promote one or another product. They have newsletters. They have, okay, if this is a good reseller, they also should have some proactive sales managers who are calling, who are doing lead generation. So they can guide them to search and enter the companies with a particular product, one or another product. They can use also Google Ads, etc. But how do they choose this product to promote or another product to promote? So you need always to understand where you are in the portfolio of the partners. So you need to be supportive enough, especially from the very beginning, as soon as you onboarded this partner, to get here, to get on the strategic product part, and to make your sales partners do a proactive efforts for pushing product in the region. Be patient, but be active and supportive to put your product at a strategic product position at the resellers. Well, actually, I do have another company, which is a reselling company. So since 2014, I also have a separate business, which is a business in the area of engineering software reselling. Very narrow, very specific, etc. So me personally, I know what does it like to be a reseller. And believe me, manufacturing company, vendor, is not an opportunity, it's a risk for reseller. Why? Because reseller, small company sitting in the particular country or covering the particular region, they always do have a market risk. They might have they are not producing the product, so they can influence on the product development very limited. They might have wrong product. Again, remembering the times when we were promoting some software product to the DACH market, to the German market, yes, the first thing is the language was not correct. The product was wrong. It could be the different, the timing might be not very much correct. For instance, situation in the Middle East with the industrial software or with the industrial machines now. The timing is may seems not completely right because it might be too early. The size of the market is not there, but still in 2-3 years time, it will be the right time. So resellers need to kind of wait. Packaging, functionality, focus, feature set, whatever. So there is always a market risk when, as a reseller, you start selling the new product onto the market. And there should be a good communication between resellers and the vendor. Remember, in the very beginning, we have been talking about the company and product evaluation. Do you have enough resources to listen carefully what is your reseller telling you and to adjust a little bit the product if it is needed for the market? Then there are another risk for resellers, exit risk. And this is a thing which you need to discuss with the reseller again from the very beginning when you are presenting them your channel development, channel sales program. There is an exit risk for the reseller from the perspective of reseller because let's imagine they start doing too well. They do a lot of sales and you are very happy with them and you are also very happy with the market and with the region opportunity. And then what the vendor might be thinking? The vendor might be thinking, okay, I have just one reseller, a small 5 people, 10 people company in this market, but the market seems to be huge. So why wouldn't I hire another reseller? Or even worse for reseller, why wouldn't I establish a subsidiary in the region? And why would not I switch or add the direct sale? That's it. You kill your channel sales at all here. And for resellers, that's really a big risk. Is they develop a market, they grew a market, they started a good sales, and they really would like to benefit from it. But then vendor decide that it's not enough, then they would like to expand with direct sales or with another reseller. So you need to be here very careful and communicate to resellers these perspectives. Normally resellers ask about it on the first meeting because they are experienced guys also. And you need to communicate what will happen if there will be an opportunity to expand, how many resellers are you planning to have? Are you planning the direct sales or not? What will be the rules with reseller? Will you implement some deals forecasting or deal protection, whatever? But this is really the thing which resellers are afraid of. Yeah, and there is a vendor risk as well. When vendor which is sitting in another country and do not maybe know the regional market a lot has some I don't know, lack of knowledge or some lack of cultural sensitivity or not understanding correctly of how the things works in the partners market. So you need to be very, very flexible. From my personal experience, I used to work with a Switzerland company just actually recently, and we were helping them to enter the uh, Azerbaijan market. It was a few months ago, so it was before this, situation. But we were helping them, and can you imagine our vendor tried to call, sales partner from the very beginning, from the Switzerland um, headquarter directly to the local, very small Azerbaijani partners, which they never met before, they never even talked before. We just started to open the door, and he started to do these calls, and he was very, very much disappointed that Irina, they are not picking up the phone, or if they are picking up the phone, they don't want to talk to me in English because he's calling them with a kind of Switzerland English, and these people, sitting in a small country with small local, they are just getting afraid. They are not used to it. That's much more comfortable for them, for instance, to have the email correspondence. It's more relaxed, and it's much more comfortable to schedule in advance the meeting and to talk with, I don't know, somebody who is speaking a good English. They're just shying to speak English by phone. They cannot just understand. And then, yeah, we had to explain this to our customer that he need to be flexible. That's not always working the same way as in the home market. So for the seller, that's always, there are a lot of risks. So my partner, who used to establish the channels all over the world for the Microsoft, used to tell that being a reseller or distributor is the world's worst job. And now having a reseller company for over 10 years, I can understand him. So hint number 9, be reliable, be consistent and transparent. Create a trustful relationship with your partners from the very beginning. Announce the clear rules of the game. Actually, that's the kind of almost end of my presentation. Just a few words about ourselves. We are a company which provides international business development services since 2006, actually, as a company, yeah. As a person, I did this for over 20 years, and we are doing the global and regional market research to help our customers to understand and prioritize the markets, where to go. We are working on the strategy of channel sales, working out the program from the very, very beginning. We are onboarding sales partners in the different regions, having our local sales representatives in the different countries mentioned below. And we are acting sometimes as a regional sales representative, being locally in the country and doing all the daily jobs which is required to move the sales further. And the headquarters is based in the UAE, in Dubai. We are covering the whole Middle East with this representative, with my Arabic-speaking staff. But we can also do the projects in China, in India, in Southeast Asia, in Turkey, it's not written here, and in Europe, Germany, Italy, France. So let's summarize. Let's do summary. 10 hints we discussed today during this workshop are: first, be realistic with estimating your capacities, your product and resources of your company. Very carefully research the market, the global market or the target markets before you actually go there. Go global step by step and region by region. You cannot target all over the world normally. If possible, if product allows, start abroad with the channel sales. When you search the partners and you search the sales channels, do it manually first, okay? Do not use any databases and do the long list. Long list must be really long. Do not be afraid to add some company which will not be interesting further on. It's just the cost of the phone call. Use local door openers. You can be surprised that it will be much more productive than doing it from your home market. Set up a clear plan with a new partner and follow this plan and control the partner to follow this plan as well. Get to strategic product, actually. It's written portfolio, but it's actually strategic product with the patience. Try to put your product on the survival level for the partner, so they would really start investing in it and create trustful relations. And of course, you will need some good luck for doing international sales with the maximum level of productivity and getting the fastest return on investment. In case of any questions, we will be happy to help. We will be happy to have one-to-one session. If there are any questions right now, I will be happy to answer. For the rest, that's it for today. I hope we will have next workshops to different topics soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Irina.
Thank you. Why are you still here?
Thank you from my side.
Hello. Was it useful? How do you think? Any feedback?
Yes, it was useful a little bit to open my eyes and to see the steps you presented. That was useful. I'm not right now in this case, but starting next year we will develop this new business unit to go global.
I see. Yes, when you are developing units, that's another story, because you need to choose the people in the right way. That's another.
Yes.
That's a little bit another thing.
Yes,
yeah.
Do the right step and be prepared for everything and consider everything. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you can never consider everything, honestly. But at least you need to do it, to give it a try.
Yes, I give it a try.
Thank you very much, Jan.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Uwe. Yeah, it was really a pleasure to see you. If any questions, I'm very open to some one-to-one sessions to go a little bit more in each particular case. So don't hesitate to ask for, quick call or online meeting with me. And then I am planning to do these kind of workshops, kind of regular, on the different topics. The next one we are discussing within our company is about budgeting, about how to spend and plan budgets productively when you are going abroad, and which steps are more effective, which steps are less effective, which are worth investing, which are not so much worth investing. So I will try to announce this workshop topic the nearest time as well.
Thank you, Irina. So
was it
we are always on the same page regarding business, international business development.
Yes, it's always nice to exchange some, ideas and steps with you. Thank you very much for joining. So I wish everybody a very good day. Take care and see you soon. Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you soon.
Bye. Take care.